There was a lot of shame growing up for different things. If we had stepped out of line, either at home or at church, there was a lot of condemnation and swift punishment, and not a lot of emphasis on a relationship. Grace wasn't really brought into the conversation much.
Sexually abused by a babysitter's teenage son when I was probably 2 years old. And I couldn't explain to my parents what was happening to me.
I'd be very hard on myself, very self-critical and self-condemning.
I didn't feel like I had anything to offer. I was very quiet and struggled with just trying to find a way to be valuable, to be noticed by the people around me.
Because I wasn't understanding God's grace towards me, I didn't know how to extend it to myself. And that played out with the family, where there's times I would just isolate.
Things for me were getting better as a young adult, and then getting married and having, children. My identity, went up a notch for being a parent, and I had a severely handicapped child. So I started feeling a lot better about myself, because that's a very challenging thing. And I was meeting those challenges pretty well. It was still kind of, my identity was still based on other people's opinions of me. I don't know how you do it, Terri. We have so much respect for you because of the way you're managing this, and but it was still, my life wasn't truly fulfilling. I didn't have that satisfaction in my soul, that longing that we have, that I believe only God can fill.
We were each praying for the person next to us. And my wife's counselor was the one who's sitting next to me, and she knew all the ways I had hurt my wife, the ways I had been selfish, and yet she was praying for me sincerely. She was praying God's blessing on me, and she wanted God's best for me, and I struggled with reconciling how, of all people there, she should be the one to snub me or treat me differently, and she didn't. And so I started realizing that if she can extend the grace to me and love, then God can too. So it's God kind of used her as his mouthpiece to get through to me.
So I did spend most of my adult years still, feeling like life wasn't very fulfilling, until I came to Christ. I started reading the Bible. I began to realize how valuable I was. I was to die for. And in the kingdom of God, everybody's equal. That gave me so much confidence in myself, because no longer was I going to compare myself with other people. And if other people compared me, it didn't affect me. And it still to this day doesn't affect me.
There's a lot of anger that's gone that I think came from just the shame and the self-condemnation, never feeling good enough, never feeling acceptable to God. I would get angry at myself, I'd get angry at God, I'd get angry at others. The baseline anger piece has subsided quite a bit, which obviously has helped relationships at home, relationships with friends.
And the joy that I have in my heart now, the confidence that I have now being a child of God is, it's magnificent. There is nothing better in life.
There were topics before that we would avoid, things we wouldn't discuss, wouldn't talk about. And now we talk about whatever we need to as a family. We pass around a feelings chart at times. It's more open. My wife and I are able to be more vulnerable with them. It's a lot easier to humble myself and tell them when I've messed up, ask for forgiveness. There's not that wall that I had up. because I know, God has forgiven me. I can forgive myself.
Even on the hard days, I can always go to that place of joy. I found the gospel. I found my value and my true identity.